So you're thinking about buying the Celestron AstroMaster 114EQ telescope. \n watch this video first, because I'm about to show you the one thing nobody tells you about this incredibly popular beginner scope. \n, but here's what surprised me. After testing it for months, this telescope forced me to make a choice that could save you hundreds of dollars or a huge headache. \n therefore, you need to see what I saw through this eyepiece before you click Add to Cart. \n for the best price, click the link in the description. \n let's get straight into it. The Celestron AstroMaster 114EQ is marketed as the perfect starter telescope. It has a 114 parabolic mirror, an equatorial mount, 2 eyepieces, and it promises to unlock the rings of Saturn and the moons of Jupiter. It looks serious on paper, and the box makes it seem like you're getting a professional-grade instrument for under $300. The marketing hits all the right notes for an eager new astronomer. Therefore, you'd think this is a no-brainer, right? But what if the very features that make it appealing are also its biggest flaws? What if the mount is more of a foe than a friend? I'm going to deep dive into every component, show you real-world views, and give you the unfiltered truth about whether this scope is a hidden gem or a trap for beginners. \n first, the unboxing. Everything feels substantial. You get the optical tube, the equatorial mount with its tripod, a red dot finder, a 20-eyepiece, a 10-eyepiece, and the standard accessories. Assembly is where the first but appears. The instructions are optimistic. Putting together the equatorial mount, especially aligning the latitude scale and balancing the tube, is not intuitive. If you've never touched an EQ mount before, you will be confused. The slow-motion control cables feel flimsy, and the tripod, while stable on carpet, has a noticeable shake on hard floors. Therefore, your first night might be spent wrestling with hardware, not gazing at stars. Here's a joke. Assembling this mount is like trying to convince a cat to take a bath. A lot of struggle, you'll probably get scratched, and in the end, everyone's just confused and angry. \n let's talk optics, because that's what you're really paying for. The heart of this scope is its 114 4.5-inch parabolic mirror. This is good. A parabolic mirror is correct for a Newtonian reflector, as it properly focuses light, unlike cheaper spherical mirrors. The focal length is 1000, giving you an f8.8 system, which is reasonably forgiving on eyepieces. Therefore, the optical tube assembly by itself is decent. I pointed it at the moon and the views were crisp and detailed. Craters along the terminator were sharp. I found Saturn, and yes, I could see the rings as a distinct separation from the planet. Jupiter showed its 2 main cloud bands and the 4 Galilean moons as bright pinpoints. And this is a massive but, these good views require perfect conditions and a mount that isn't vibrating. The supplied 10-eyepiece, giving 100x, is mediocre. The 2050x is okay. To really see details, you'll need better eyepieces. Therefore, the advertised power is misleading. You're not getting 100x of usable, enjoyable power with that kit eyepiece. \n now, the mount. The AstroMaster EQ mount is the make-or-break component. An equatorial mount is designed to track stars by moving on one axis aligned with the Earth's pole. In theory, it's brilliant for beginners to learn the sky. In practice, this particular implementation is frustrating. The controls are not smooth. The knobs are small and hard to turn precisely in the dark. The biggest issue, it's undermounted. The scope feels top-heavy. Every slight touch, every focuser adjustment sends vibrations through the system that take several seconds to settle. Trying to track a planet at high magnification becomes an exercise in patience. You'll finally get it in view, go to focus, and watch it drift and shake out of the eyepiece. But why does this matter? Therefore, if you're showing a kid Saturn for the first time and it's constantly jiggling away, the magic dies fast. The learning curve isn't about astronomy, it's about fighting your equipment. \n what about the finder? It's a red dot finder. You look through a window and see a red dot you project onto the sky. It's not magnified. This is actually a good choice for a beginner as it's intuitive. Alignment, however, is finicky. The adjustment screws are stiff, and the bracket feels plastic and cheap. On a positive note, once aligned, it gets you in the ballpark. Therefore, finding bright objects like the moon or Jupiter is straightforward. But finding fainter deep sky objects like the Orion Nebula, good luck. Without precise tracking and a wider field of view, you'll be nudging the scope blindly. Which brings me to joke number 2. Using this mount to find a faint nebula is like trying to find a specific grain of sand on a beach using a metal detector that beeps constantly for bottle caps. \n, let's discuss the famous, computerized version note. The basic 114 EQ is not computerized. Celestron has an AstroMaster model that includes a motor drive. This one does not. You are manually tracking everything. This is fine for learning, but combined with the clunky mount, it's a chore. Therefore, if you think you're getting a go-to system, you are not. You are getting a manual equatorial mount that requires you to know how to polar align it for proper tracking, which frankly, most total beginners won't do. They'll just point it at an object and constantly adjust both axes, which defeats the entire purpose of an EQ mount. It becomes a more complicated all-tazimuth mount. \n, is it all bad? No, here's the contrarian snapback. For a very specific person, this telescope could work. If you are a hands-on tinkerer, someone who doesn't mind modifying and upgrading equipment, the 114 EQ presents a solid optical tube on a questionable mount. You can learn the principles of an equatorial mount. You can see the moon and planets well on calm nights. You can later buy a better eyepiece, like a decent 6mm gold line, and get sharper views of Saturn. You can even weigh down the tripod or make DIY stabilizers. Therefore, as a learning platform for the asterisk concepts asterisk, it functions. But as a ready-to-explore the universe out-of-the-box experience, it often disappoints. It's the IKEA furniture of telescopes. You have to build it, and sometimes a part is missing, metaphorically speaking. \n now, the resolution. After all this testing, who is this telescope actually for? I see 2 clear candidates. First, the extremely patient, detail-oriented beginner who wants to understand mechanics and is on a tight budget. Second, someone who wants a okay optical tube and plans to eventually build or buy a better mount. For everyone else, especially parents buying for a curious child or an adult who wants a relaxing, rewarding hobby, the AstroMaster 114 EQ is a risk. The frustration factor is high. Therefore, what are the alternatives? In a similar price range, a good quality Dobsonian telescope, like a 6-inch model, will give you more aperture, much more stable views, and far simpler operation. You won't learn equatorial tracking, but you'll see more and enjoy it immediately. The trade-off is size, but enjoyment is the key. A scope that sits in a closet because it's frustrating is a bad investment. A simpler scope you use every clear night is priceless. \n let me leave you with a final, real-world test. I took the AstroMaster 114 EQ to a moderately dark sky site. The Milky Way was visible. I aimed for the Andromeda Galaxy, a classic target. With the 20mm eyepiece, after much searching, I found a faint, fuzzy smudge. It was there, but keeping it in the field of view while I switched to a better eyepiece I brought was nearly impossible. The mount's vibrations and clumsy controls made the experience more stressful than awe-inspiring. Joke 3. Using this mount for deep sky observing is like trying to perform heart surgery with oven mitts on. You might eventually succeed, but there are definitely better tools for the job. \n therefore, my final verdict. The Celestron AstroMaster 114 EQ is not a bad telescope, but it is a poorly matched system. The optics are passable, the mount is the weak link. It asks a beginner to run before they can walk. It promises the cosmos but delivers a steep climb. If you buy this, know what you're getting into. You are buying a project, not a polished experience. You will need patience, additional accessories, and possibly a higher tolerance for frustration. But if you conquer it, you will have learned a lot. And so should you buy it. If you've watched this far and are still intrigued by the challenge, maybe. But if you want to look up and feel wonder, not wrestle with knobs, therefore, look at simpler designs. Your first telescope should fuel your curiosity, not test your patience. Remember, the best telescope is the one you use. For the vast majority of people starting out, a stable, easy-to-use Dobsonian will show you more and make you smile more often. That's the real secret nobody tells you. It's not about specs on a box. It's about the experience under the stars. N before you go, here's joke 4. What did the frustrated AstroMaster owner say to the star? Hold still. I paid good money for this mount. N if you've decided this is the scope for you, or you want to check the latest price and see for yourself, click the link in the description for the best deal on Amazon. That link supports the channel at no extra cost to you, and it helps me make these honest reviews. Thanks for watching and clear skies.